It's time for the Wartburg College Game of the Week.
And our Friday Night Heroes Game of the Week is a great matchup of 1A District 3 powers. 6th-ranked Dike-New Hartford visits MFL MarMac. The Wolverines and Bulldogs both entering tonight's game with identical 4-1 records. Now, Dike-New Hartford has won 4 straight after dropping the season opener to top-ranked Grundy Center, while MFL MarMac's only loss was at the hands of 2A's Waukon. Mark Woodley joins us live now from Monona with our Friday Night Heroes Game of the Week. And was it worth the Game of the Week? I know the voters thought it should be.
Hey, coming up here to Monona, it is always worth the Game of the Week, Rick. These people are fantastic up here. But for both these teams tonight, well, there was no shortage of motivation, especially for Dike-New Hartford. You know, the last 2 years, they had lost to this same MFL MarMac team, and in one of those years, it was in the playoffs, so MFL MarMac ended their season. And for both of these teams, well, the fact that this was pretty much the de facto district championship, even though there are a couple of weeks left, well, that certainly added another factor.
Friday night featured 2 teams that have been rolling over opponents, but only one would jump into the district lead. And it was Dike-New Hartford that figured it out first. Noah Borcherding looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Borcherding takes it 40 yards for the opening score. Wolverines led 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, and they came up big again in the second quarter. That's Jack Severson with the robbery. That's a big pick, and Severson has some room on the back end. Takes it back to the Bulldog 25-yard line. DNH in business. And 2 plays later, they'd capitalize on it. Colin Meester up top to Carson Costello. He high points it 23 yards for the score. 14-0 Dike-New Hartford. And they got one more just before half. Meester to Jake Reichs. A great grab in the corner of the end zone. The Wolverines were rolling 20-0 at the halftime break. And in the second half, not much changed. There goes Borcherding again. His second touchdown of the night. Dike-New Hartford led 27-0 on the brink of putting the game away. But later in the quarter, one play after turning over the Bulldogs on the other goal line, they gave it right back. Keith Anderson recovered the fumbled snap at the Wolverine 3. MFL MarMac catches a break. But 4 plays later, this happens. Meester secures the shutout with the interception in the end zone, but he wasn't satisfied with just that. Meester is gone coast to coast, 100 yards on the pick 6, and that was the exclamation point on a signature win. Dike-New Hartford takes control of the district in a dominant 34-0 victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome win for us. We expect them to be good, and you know, it's awesome to come out 34-0. Got to thank my own line. That's where all my success comes from. So I mean, I can't say much about that.
Obviously, that's a really good ball team, but we started right from the get-go. We got a good stop, and then we pounded it right down the end zone, which was big. And the team really played well tonight on both sides of the ball.
That just speaks to how hard our kids play, and I just couldn't be prouder than I am tonight of these kids and how they came out and played, both offensively and defensively.
1, 2, 3, Wolverine!
And Rick, I said at 6 o'clock that these are clearly the 2 best teams in this district, and I still feel that way. I still feel like going on from here, MFL MarMac's going to play their last 2 regular season games. They're going to win those games, finish second in this district, get a home game, and maybe do some damage in the playoffs. But Dike-New Hartford, those guys made a statement tonight. Not only a statement that they are the best team in this district, far and away from what we saw here tonight, but they made a statement that they might be a state contender at this point. I feel like this is a much better team than we saw in week 1. They've gotten better every week. Don Betts calls the offense the most consistent that he's ever had. You know, he said last year's and the past year's have been good, but they haven't been consistently good like this year's team has. And the defense, well, they put up a shutout against a very good MFL MarMac offense tonight. So Dike-New Hartford, those guys look like they're rolling.
And it seemed like that Grundy Center game was a wake-up call, but it seems like they've gotten better and better each week. And culminating tonight, I mean, you talk about scoring 34 points, but then shutting out an explosive unit like MFL MarMac.
Without a doubt, and they made 2 stops on turnovers inside the 5. Now, they were pretty much back-to-back. MFL MarMac fumbled the ball, Dike-New Hartford fumbled the ball, and then MFL MarMac threw that 100-yard pick 6 about 10 seconds later. But they had a lot of pride. You know, they had this game won easily in the third quarter, but they weren't satisfied with that. They wanted to put up a 0 on the board tonight, and that is exactly what they did.
I know they're only halfway to their goal. You think of 6 games. It takes 13 to win a state title, so there's still a long way to go. But they certainly made, like you said, made a statement tonight.
They certainly did, and in Class 1A, obviously Grundy Center is still out there, and you can't pick against Grundy Center until somebody's beaten Grundy Center, and so far nobody's beaten Grundy Center. But Dike-New Hartford, like I said, this is a team that you feel like could compete. Now, Grundy Center is a team that, you know, as the season goes along, constantly gets better as well. So I'm sure they're not the same team that they were in week 1 as well. But, you know, you would love to see these 2 match up again.
All right, you got 55 minutes left to your birthday. So happy birthday, my man, and drive safely back from Monona.
All right, thanks so much. Yeah, I got a lot of time with my thoughts for the next couple hours.
All right. Thanks, Mark.